Welcome to episode 5 of Babs Hockey Academy, as I'm going to give you 8 things that coaches absolutely hate to see. And so what this will do is help you to identify the things that coaches that really can't stand, and it's going to help you really avoid them and make some better decisions during the season. We know that we need the coaches to really be on our side and ready to promote us and give us those opportunities. And we want to make sure we give ourselves the best chance by avoiding these habits and taking the right steps so that we can give ourselves the best chance to execute when our chance opens up. So here, we're going to start with the first one, and everyone's heard this one, and it's bad body language. This is something that drives coaches insane. I can't tell you how every coach since playing college, pro, juniors, you name it, they always say, bad body language, can't stand it, pouting, all this. We want to avoid bad body language. I understand that sometimes things don't go your way, but we want to work to, again, show this, we want to show that we're willing to handle any situation that comes our way. And so we want to work to avoid bad body language. We don't really want to give any response. Coaches are always looking for that. And so that leads into the second one here, where we're going to talk about emotional outbursts. Coaches look to see when players are really just super emotional after a bad goal, a bad play, a bad pass, you name it. So you might think there's the same, but they're really different. It's really important to understand we want to control these emotional outbursts. We want to work to not show a response when these things happen and really let our play do the talking. It's more so a maturity thing. If you show the ability to handle these situations, show good body language and some emotional control, coaches are going to trust you more and understand that you're working to make better on the next chance that you get. And so the next one, and this one frustrates a lot of players, but lazy players. We don't want to be lazy. And again, this is just the slow back check, not the second, third efforts. And I've talked about this before. What makes an elite player is not their first play, but their second and third plays, their second and third efforts. And so it's important that we don't want to be the lazy player. We want to be the guy that is going on the ice a couple minutes early, working on our game, staying a little bit longer. And so we want to make these second, third efforts. We want to do these little things that are going to help the coach see that we're not a lazy player. We're here to work. You name any NHL player. I can't tell you how, you couldn't count 5 lazy players that play in the NHL. Yeah, some people might say Phil Kessel. But you know what? That guy puts the work in when it matters. And so for you, we don't want that perception as a lazy player. We want to be putting the extra work in because that's going to give you those extra opportunities. Now, talking back, that's the fourth one here. We don't want to be talking back to coaches. So you may be right, they may even be wrong. And when the coach leans over to talk to you and over the bench, you don't want to be spitting back and forth. It's not taking away your identity or that you know something else happened. You got to remember that they're the authority figure on that bench. And there's a lot of things going on. If something's really bugging you, put that away, put it aside. After the game or the next day in practice when emotions aren't as high, you can go in and talk to the coaches and really talk about and figure out what else could have been done. That way you can make better decisions later on. And again, this shows a higher level of maturity versus yelling back at the coach. It's never a good scene. And you know when there's all these things going on in a game, it's just going to set you up for failure. So we don't want to talk back. And again, if you feel like it's a bigger issue, save it aside, wait till after the game, wait till emotions come down, and then you can reevaluate that. Next one. Whining, complaining about any situations. Coaches really just use this as leverage to just go, X, we're just going to move on. Or this player, he doesn't really appreciate what he has here. And so if you have a problem, like I said just before, you can set that aside, talk to some older players, but you don't want to show the perception that you're just a complainer or that you're whining or that you're unhappy with the situation. Now, again, when you go play college, you're going to be there for 4 years. But again, like I said, you're going to be there for 4 years. You don't want to be like the guy that's always complaining. You don't want that perception, because when that sticks on you, it's going to be very difficult to get the coach to switch his mindset. So we don't want to be the guy that's always complaining and whining. I'm not saying don't be upset, don't show your emotions when you need to, but it's about the timing. You don't really want to be associated as the guy that's always complaining and always whining. Number 6, this is a big one for me, blaming your teammates. This is something that absolutely drives me insane and drives every coach insane. Nothing worse when you come off the bench and the coach is sitting there trying to talk to a player and you're yelling across the bench about, let's say, John. You're like, John, what the hell was that? What were you doing? That's not conducive to anything. That's not going to show any change. If anything, if you're yelling at another guy or you're blaming a teammate, that's just going to make him more defensive. You need him. It isn't an individual sport. This isn't tennis. This isn't golf. This is hockey. You need your teammates. You need to work with them. And so coaches see that. If you're just blaming other players, it just sets up the defensive mechanism in their brains, and they're gonna be like, I'm shutting you out. And when coaches hear that, that's just an easy way for them to be like, oh, this guy's not a team guy. He's not a team player. He doesn't want to do what's best for the team. He's on his own page. So we want to avoid that perception. We want to work to be a good teammate. Don't be blaming other players. Last 2 here, cheating for offense. This is something that coaches really get on players a lot, because defense first is the mindset. Yes, we want to create offense, and yes, there is a time to cheat for offense, and coaches will illustrate that. Really good teams will show you how to do that. But if you're constantly cheating on the wrong side of the puck, this really lays right back into being a lazy player. You're not back checking. You're not focused on what's best for the team. You want to cheat for offense when the coach illustrates exactly what it's supposed to do. But you don't want to be having that as a consistent habit. Cheating for offense is another easy way for coaches just to be like, okay, you know what? He's not willing to do the things the team needs to be successful long term. He's more focused on himself. And then that finishes off the last one, selfish hockey player. You do not want to be a selfish hockey player. It's not about me, it's about the team. And if you take care of the team, the rest will take care of itself. Your points, all your play will take care of itself. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it really is something that coaches look at. Coaches are now less focused on points, more focused on character, on what type of player they're going to be bringing into the locker room. That's what the best coaches are looking at. Of course, the points and skill sets, those things are important. But the big thing they want to know is that guy a team guy? Or is he a selfish guy? Because I guarantee you, and I've talked to many, many coaches, many scouts throughout the last couple years, especially in my last endeavors, and one of the biggest things they cannot stand is a selfish hockey player. So be a team player. It's all about the team first, and the rest will take care of itself. So there you have it. You have 8 habits that coaches absolutely hate. Now that first step is awareness. Once you're aware, you can now start taking the necessary steps to either avoid them and put the right behaviors so that you can get the coaches to see you, notice you, and give you the opportunities you deserve. And with those opportunities, you'll be able to show your skill sets and really get those opportunities to move up to the next level. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to have a full PDF on the website. Make sure you just visit www.babshockey.com and you'll get a full PDF of all of these 8 so that you can always refer back to them and really take the necessary steps to take your game to the next level.